There's so much that you don't know when you go into owning your own business. Like, God, how do I set up my budget? Like, I'm on my own, and building that from the ground up was incredibly challenging.
Because we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to.
You can't do it by yourself. You have to make those investments in people and support systems that will set you up for success.
Leslie, it's so good to have you here. I'm super excited. I've been waiting a long time to meet you. And then finally, for the first time, we met at Data Driven Scottsdale face to face. It was really great, which I thought this year's, it was such a great event. What did you think, Leslie?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to be here and honored to be with you today. Data driven this year was one of the best that I've personally been able to experience since I've been going. I felt like there was just so much connection and collaboration, and salon owners who were there who are just truly interested and engaged in making an impact not only in their own salons but across the industry together. And the conversations we had were just incredible, and ways that we can work together and all really come together and align on how we make the future of professional beauty stronger than ever.
I agree with that. And we had such a good time there. It was so good to see everyone. And it's always good to see everyone. It's like my favorite event of the year, just like that. But we do have NaHa coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. Nicole and I are going to be there right with you. We're just picking up the outfit. Nicole, did you pick up an outfit yet for that one?
Don't get me started on the outfits, girl.
Color, I mean, our show your true colors concept this year, color theme? No.
What are you having going on? Will you tell us?
I am wearing emerald green. Mhm. So the meaning behind emerald green is, growth and, like, new beginnings, and for me, it really like, that means a lot this year, especially with a new position with PBA and moving things in a different just taking things in a new way. I thought emerald green was a really great representation.
I love that. Well, what about I don't know what I'm wearing yet. We're going back and forth, but
Decision. You've got some time. You have a little bit of time, so
now that you're doing emerald green, I'll have to go to maybe the yellow brick road. I
there
know.
you go. I like it. Topaz.
There you go. You do look good in a topaz, but I will say the way Ronit will operate is I'm telling you, 1 week before we're due to be somewhere, she's like mass ordering from Revolve, straight overnight shipping to her house. So I'm sure that's what I'll be seeing come through.
So okay, so before we dive into your success today, which I'm super excited to go over it, I want you to take us back to your most challenging moment in business, that point where uh, everything seems to be just falling apart. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know about you, but I have
Right.
many moments like that, you know. Now, what was happening and how did it feel? And what was the unexpected turning point that totally changed everything?
For me, one of the most challenging jobs that I've ever had was actually owning my own business. So, I am a licensed esthetician. I had a bridal makeup and cosmetics business, and I was a business of one and did that on my own and built that from scratch from the ground up. And I there's so much that you don't know when you go into owning your own business. Like, I'm sure so many people can understand, especially in our industry that's made up of so many entrepreneurs, and not even understanding, God, how do I set up my budget? Like, I'm on my own. I had come from the corporate world where we had teams and we had collaboration and we had other things and systems and process built in. And building that from the ground up was incredibly challenging, especially for someone like myself who really enjoyed the people side of it and maybe didn't enjoy the business side of it as much. And then for me, even just with my personality, the hardest moments, and I think where the failure kind of comes in, is when you have those moments of the uncertainty and you start to not believe in what you can achieve. And when it gets hard is when you really have to dig deep and have the grit to come through the other side and not give up. And that's the hard part for me. And I mean, I think one mistake I made, I mean, I was creating my own packaging for some of the cosmetics, and because I wanted it to be a specific way, I spent way more money than I ever should have spent on this packaging, and it was beautiful, and it had gold embossed foil, and it was so classy, but at that stage and that moment, was that really what the business needed? I was too focused on that and what it looked like, and not on the business fundamentals and where am I going to get the clients? What do I need to do consistently day over time to bring the clients in? I got too focused on the fun things and the pretty things and the aesthetic side of it, which is, I think, we see that frequently in our industry too, right? Like that's the side that you kind of lean toward. And so, yes, that was a big thing. Well, the best thing I did was hired a business coach who helped me through that and then helped me set up the vision, the strategic plan, and I think the best thing she did for me was help me hone in on who is my key target audience, because that was the other thing. When I started, it was spray and pray, and whoever wants their makeup done, if you're a teenager going to homecoming or prom, or you're a bride or whatever, it's all over the place. And I look back at the marketing I did back then and think, well, my God, no wonder. I mean, nobody saw themselves in that because it was just so all over the place trying to do it myself. And the key learning for me was that you can't do it by yourself. You have to make those investments in people and support systems that will set you up for success. Even though you want to spend money on the fun, pretty things, you have to spend money on the foundation, the support systems, the business process first.
I love that. This episode is sponsored by Salon Cadence, the only global advisory network helping salon and spa and med spa CEOs scale to 7 and 8 figures without a burnout. This is not a do it yourself program. This is do it with you and for you. From profit first system to team run leadership. First, we fix the numbers, then we create the wealth, then we will focus on CEO mindset, and we build the process with your team to give you the ultimate freedom to become the true CEO and visionary you are. We have helped thousands grow widely successful for freedom driven companies in beauty, wellness, and regenerative medicine. If you're ready to grow, scale, and live a wealthy life, visit saloncadence.com. Now, one of the most important things that you can invest in and not do it yourself, I highly recommend mysalonbooks.com. Salon owners that are tired of never knowing if you're actually profitable or where your money is going, on what your money is doing for you or against you. The team at My Salon Books takes the stress off your plate. They are specialized in salon booking, providing real time insight and financial clarity so you can focus on what you do best, running a thriving salon. Here at Salon Cadence, we recommend mysalonbooks.com. It is the only bookkeeping management that utilizes the profit first the right way. So go to mysalonbooks.com to learn more and get free evaluation of your own books. You said something that it was funny because we just had our mentors meeting uh, prior to our podcast today. And we talked how essential and how important it is before you do anything. Obviously, we're profit first for um, salon and spa and med spa agency. But what the key important thing is, of course, once you understand your profits and what you need to be in order to be profitable, you got to know your numbers. That's like break number one. But really learning um, your audience. Like it's so important to know your audience. And you said that in the couple of words. So love if you can expand on that. What audience did you realize back then that is your audience?
So I'll start with who I thought it was, and then how I discovered that it wasn't actually what I thought it was. I thought I needed to appeal to the younger market, those that are going to Sephora or going to Ulta and spending a ton of money and they love makeup and like the makeup enthusiasts, like I thought that's where I needed to be and had to skew younger. And what I actually found and organically started to happen, and then my business coach helped me really see it, was that where my sweet spot was women over 40 and they felt comfortable with me. I was older when I started my business, so I was already in my mid to late 30s myself. So they felt comfortable with me. They naturally were referring their friends to me, and all of a sudden, all the marketing I was doing to get these young people in my salon was like it doesn't make any sense. Like go all in on that target market who sees value in what you do, has the disposable income. If they're like, what I didn't realize at the time is, like, the makeup enthusiasts, those who love it, they're watching YouTube, they're doing their thing, they're going and they're making their own decisions. My clients needed my expertise and needed me to help guide them on what products were right for their skin, what makeup products and cosmetics were right for them, especially at a time where their skin was changing. They didn't know how to do their makeup anymore. When they were in their 20s, their skin did certain things that it's not doing in their 40s and 50s. And how do I work with that and feel really good about myself? And so that was like this huge aha. And when I leaned into that, that's when success really started to happen. And some of those clients still reach out to me and say, I wish you still had your business. I need you. I need you. or products that I had at the time, like, oh man, I really miss that concealer. I love that foundation. I wish you still had your business. So yeah, I felt like the internet was telling me or social media was telling me I had to have this market, this younger person, but really it wasn't. And with the true business practices and looking at it and where revenue's coming from in my target, it was so much more successful when I really started to hone in on that and just talk to them and do my videos for them, for those women who needed to come in and see me.
You wanted them to be able to see themselves in your marketing. Yeah. And then I'm curious if you could expand, Leslie, a little bit more on how you got to the point of opening that business because you said, as a child in your mom's salon. So I'm curious about your story there. And then, you said you went into corporate world and that you love communications, you love people. And then you ended up having your own business. Do that. And so can you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. I did. My mom was a hairdresser, salon owner for 35 years. So I truly grew up. I was born into the industry, worked at her salon when I was old enough to be the receptionist, helped with folding towels, sweeping hair, retail, all of those pieces of it. When I went away to college, I was the first person in my family to go to college. And it was a really big deal for my mom and my dad for their kid to go to college. Um, my mom had the mindset, like so many sadly do, that she was just a hairdresser and something magical would happen if her kid got this college degree. And so I went off to college, thought I was going to go into broadcast journalism, into TV news, tried that. That wasn't the right fit for me and ended up landing in healthcare communications. So I took the skills that I had learned as a reporter and took it to the other side of that industry and worked in public relations and communications for a number of years for large hospitals, a chemical company. And when I was at the chemical company is when I realized that corporate America, while amazing, is kind of sucking the soul out of me one little piece at a time every day. And I really just felt this calling to go into the family business, which for us was my mom was a hairdresser. My sister's also a hairdresser and owned a salon in Michigan. And so, with their help and support, I decided to, in my 30s, get my license in aesthetics. I did an apprenticeship at a salon and got my license in aesthetics. Then I was just doing that on the side, thinking that it would be something fun that would give me something to look forward to while I was still in corporate America. But what was interesting is what happened is I was using all of my vacation time to do bridal work and was running out of vacation time to do bridal work and decided that the next step would be let's try this. Let's try my own thing. Let's start a business and see what happens. And so that's what I did. And I'm so grateful I did it. I was a terrible boss for myself. So So many who was my least favorite boss? Me. I was my least favorite boss, but truly, it was an incredible
Yeah.
experience and loved the impact I was able to make in my community, the ability to help women in particular with their confidence and seeing themselves in a new way was the most fulfilling part of my job, of any job that I've ever had.
Well, you know what to say. Michael Gerber has that saying, and it says, um, if you're still required to make decision for your company as you scale, that means you don't own a company. You just own a job.
Mm.
And if you are working um, for that person, then you're working for a lunatic, right? Like we are.
100%.
I love that quote when he says, "You're just working for a lunatic, and who wants to work for a lunatic?" So that is
So
so
fair.
true. So speaking about that and your journey, you are now our executive um, of PBA,
Yeah.
which I love. If we can expand on that, what is PBA? What is it like?
Yeah.
What is it there? Why is it there?
So, PBA, Professional Beauty Association, is a trade association. So, most industries, including professional beauty, have these trade associations that are here. We are designed to support the entire industry. So, what does that mean? Our mission is to keep professional beauty professional. That is through education, that's through resources, it's through connecting other businesses with each other, it's connecting businesses to the licensed professionals and salon owners in the industry and really helping us all align on what is best for the future of professional beauty and how do we do that together. So I look at PBA and we do here with our team as kind of like this ultimate connector in the industry so that it's like I always I when I use this phrase, I feel like I like date myself of like this, we're the ultimate Rolodex. Like if you need to get in touch with someone, chances are PBA has that connection and can help you with that or can help you think bigger when you're ready to think bigger. How do I show up in the industry? So that's kind of like big picture what we do. But then on a like a daily basis, how do we show up? We're like the best friend that you never knew you needed, but you have in times of trouble, in times when it's good, in times of crisis, when you need something. I mean, truly your first call, your first inclination for help can be PBA, and we can, in most instances, help guide you on the right path to be successful.
Which is great because for our audience, with anyone who's listening to this episode, our audience is in a variety of industries. So it's in the beauty industry, it's in the wellness industry. We are in the med spa industry and salons and spas. And what we really focus on you, moms, the moms out there, where you're trying to build a company that has a huge amount of impact, and the impact is literally starts with the community that is your salon, your people, your team. You cannot really grow unless you have such a great team. And you can't really do anything without having an amazing community that come and utilize your services. So, we are salespeople. We have to identify in our audience. We have to know who we want to work with, what we want to serve, how we want to serve, how we want to come in. And so, what I would love for everybody to know that is Leslie saying, you're not alone. You're not alone.
Right. You're not alone.
So, as an entrepreneur, as a mother who does it all, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, you know what we have, Leslie. We wear millions of hats,
Mhm.
right? Like it's not just ownership and being a CEO of a company, but if you want to scale, you want to grow, we have to look at resources all
Absolutely.
around it. So we talked about it, the three of us, before we got on the call, and you said, "Oh my God, the resources that Professional Beauty Association is offering is unlimited."
Mhm.
And I'd love if you can touch base on that particularly when we just went through the horrific time in California with all the fires, how you guys impacted so many salons over there. And
Yeah.
what else does why should I as an owner become a member with PBA?
Yeah. So being a part of PBA, and it depends on where your journey is too. I mean, there are some salons who join because they're just starting out, and we have like really tangible, tactical resources like employee handbook templates and insurance providers that offer discounted insurance and like very tactical things. But when you have, you're scaling, you're bigger, maybe you don't need those tactical things. Being a part of PBA means being a part of a community of like-minded professionals who want the best not only for their salon or their community but our industry as a whole. And one of the ways that we do that, and because of our members, we're able to have a whole charitable aspect of what we do at PBA. And through our PBA charities, you're referring to our disaster relief fund. So anytime there's a natural disaster, this year it started off already with all of the wildfires in California. If a licensed professional salon is impacted by that, I mean, it was devastating. I was there. I was able to meet some of the salon owners who literally saw their life's work burn to the ground and have nothing left. And so, with our disaster relief fund and all of our amazing partners who donate to that, we're able to give funding immediately for immediate needs, whether it's for gas or food or clothing or shelter or whatever you need to get yourself through that initial impact of what's happening during an emergency. And so, I mean, last year alone, we were able to give out almost $500,000. This year with the California wildfires, it's been almost $200,000 already for 2025. So it's just it's a huge way that we can support this industry in the sense of community. And one thing I heard from multiple professionals when I was in California was I didn't even know something like this existed. I didn't think anyone cared about behaviors, and that's where I'm so grateful for this opportunity to shout from the rooftops that we're here, we exist, we support you, we love you, and for small dues investments every year, you can help yourself, but you can help others, be more successful.
With this podcast or our show, it's Living a Profitable Life show. We're going to bring you so many great guests and lessons and teachings. So it's really is wonderful to have our partners, sponsors that helping us make this possible for everyone. But it is you who are going to make us better. So I'm asking you to always comment and let me know how was this episode? Was it helpful? What else would you like to learn? What else would you like to see? It's predicted within the next few years, this industry, this beautiful beauty industry around the world, is going to be growing by 8 to 10% incremental. That means opportunities to grow, to develop, to anything you want to be in this world. The thing is, the more you subscribe and share it with your friend, the more I can make this podcast be the best place for you. Any subject that you find is necessary, let us know. So please subscribe and help us get to at least 1,000 downloads. Once we get there, we'll celebrate. That I think a lot of people are really curious about how they can actually be even. I mean, and I think that these days, with how we self develop a lot,
Mhm.
and a lot of people want to be part of the association itself. I think that that's important to a lot of people to be part of an impact. So if you don't mind just letting our audience know how else can they contribute? So
Mhm.
yes, for sure, if you do not have a membership with PBA, with Professional Beauty Association, you need to, because there's so many great events together. The community comes together. There's nothing more amazing when leaders come together, and I love that. But also, they have the resources, as like you said, for mothers that are out there. That maybe you need a better health insurance. Maybe you need a virtual health insurance. They provide that. So I know these are amazing benefits, and no matter what, you should be there for small dues and be part of it. But what else, if they wanted to be part of the association, be on the board, help make decision, help make even a greater impact? What are the opportunity for a founder?
Yeah, so I mean, once you're a PBA member, there are so many opportunities. And it's funny, just today, a colleague and myself this morning were talking about we need to really lay out clearly for our members the ways they can get more engaged with PBA. So it's fresh in my mind, which I'm glad that this is coming up now. But you had mentioned board opportunities. So we have a board of directors who helps guide and lead what we are focused on for the association from now and into the future. We also have what we call advisory councils. So it's not at the board level where they're making fiduciary decisions and have that responsibility, but they are the voice, they are the ears, the eyes of our industry, and bring that up to us to help us say these are areas that we're seeing as a salon owner, for example, that PB really should take a look at and should put their focus here. So those are two volunteer opportunities that exist. And then there's all kinds of other volunteer opportunities from getting really engaged with our government affairs and being an advocate in your state on behalf of things that matter. So that if your state, in many states every year, are trying to deregulate, take away licensing, saying that our industry doesn't matter, that our profession doesn't matter by taking away licensing, that's something that we're always working on. And you can get involved in that. We have a student program called Beacon. It's a program that students in cosmetology, barbering, aesthetics, makeup, massage school can apply to be a part of. We need volunteers to review those applications and help us decide who is selected into each year's class of Beacon. NaHa, the North American Hairstyling Awards, if you have experience and expertise in that level of work in the industry and want to be a judge, there's opportunities for being a judge. I mean, I could go on, right? But it really is some just incredible ways to be engaged with not only PBA, but the industry as a whole through PBA.
I know we were looking at doing something, I think we'll introduce something to.
Future leaders. Yes. So that's another. So Beacon is really a professional development, leadership development program for licensed professionals. And then Future Leaders is geared toward those who are maybe middle executive level at a distributor, at a manufacturer, at a tech company, at a business that supports our industry. So we have two developmental leadership opportunities. We're always looking for mentors and presenters and those who want to pour into the future of our industry.
That's great. So the opportunities are there because I think people really care. What do you think, Nicole?
Oh, 100%. And like Leslie said, some people just don't know that this exists. And
Most people don't.
I know that a lot of people do know, but it would be great to, expand your reach and to let more people know that you're out here because what we see happen a lot when we bring somebody on at Salon Cadence is they're lonely. Like, it feels very lonely at the top, at the chain of command where you are the boss. You've gone from being somebody that was, working on their craft, honing their craft and really passionate about it to now you have employees and it can be really challenging, especially right now. So having that sense of community and knowing that there are people out there that have your back is so incredibly important.
We do specific salon leader exchanges once a quarter. So any salon owners in our network are invited. There's a topic that they focus on for that call for about an hour with owners from all over the country. So to your point, Nicole, about feeling lonely and just needing someone to lean on, there's another opportunity for engagement at PBA to meet others that you might not normally have ever met because they're across the country, but they might be facing a lot of the same things that you are.
Is we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to when we actually created them. That's an opportunity to help solve problems in a different matters. And when you get people together, they just bounce ideas to each other, and it's just you really can make a difference. But we need the people. So
Mhm.
and it's so great. I think more than ever, it's so nice to see people coming together. Um, you know, through all these times that we have. So I think what I would love to do, Leslie, is just maybe talk a little bit about back to you, bringing your successes, and if you could resize for anybody out there that listening to us right now is. What can you give as an advice, or what's the best advice that was given to you that you took with you through good times, bad times, ugly times, that you can give back to?
Best advice I've gotten was don't be afraid of your life. And by that, it really meant to me sometimes I was afraid to make decisions because I wasn't sure or I was I you know I it you know, what do I do here or what direction do I go or what's everyone going to think if I do this or take this job or that job or open a business or close a business, and you have to like shut all of that out and do what's best for you and let your life play out and realize that some will be happy accidents, some will be failures, but from failure we learn and we grow, and without that, you can't have success. The other really key thing that I would love people to take away is finding support like yourselves, coaches that can help you because it isn't you don't have to do it alone. You shouldn't do it alone. And we need others to help guide us in areas where we don't necessarily have the expertise. So that's what made such a difference for me when I had my own business was having that coach, having that support, seeking out others in the industry, in my community, always being open to learning and growing and attending shows and being really actively engaged in the industry is a huge component of it.
I I wanna if you don't mind me jumping in, Ronnie, I have a question for you, Leslie, because you mentioned something before when it came to your approach with your own business and that you did have a coach and that really helped you, move the needle. But you also mentioned having grit, and I think that's so important because if you aren't in a space where you can take on the work that's required, you can get all the coaching that you want in the world. And if you're not ready to take action, it's not gonna make a difference in your life. So I'm curious what grit looks like to you and, like, what daily actions and habits you had to take in order to keep you moving forward. Because right now, a lot of people are stressed and they just need to know how they can see that light at the end of the tunnel, how they can just keep taking it one day at a time. So how did you apply grit? Like, what did you do in order to really push yourself forward?
I mean, for me, grit, there's a component of that that's also you're doing things that you might not want to do, but there are things that you really have to do and force yourself to do them. And for me, it was focusing instead of like social media was a thing that just kind of like stressed me out all the time. And it was because initially I was looking at it like, I have to do social. Okay. Well, you have no plan. You have this big idea in your head that you have to do social, but what does it mean? So then when I broke it down and I built myself week by week, I would sit down and carve out time for that week to come up with what I was going to post. And then would I have a theme each week? And I did um Wow Women Wednesdays, my Wonder Woman Wednesday, and I would feature women who either like famous women or like women in my community, clients, and just talk about their stories of what because that worked for me. And so, yeah, like the grid to do that, you have to realize there's things that you don't want to do, but you have to do if you want to be successful. And then put in the work. And I also had to realize that the work I'm doing today might not pay off dividends tomorrow. It might pay off dividends in 6 months or a year, but I have to do that work and be patient to see it play out. And then the other part was just building in habits that make me successful. So for me, health and fitness is a huge component of it. And I had to build in time, especially when I was working for myself and had a tendency to want to work and work and work all the time at all hours of the night and have no boundaries, that that had to be an hour at least 4 days a week where I could just go and like shut out the noise and do that for myself. And that was something super important to me to be successful. But yeah, grit is yeah, it's and you keep pushing through and realizing that one failure doesn't mean you are a failure, that your business isn't successful, or that it's a learning opportunity. What can I learn from that? And then let's take that energy that I was upset, let's take the upset energy and turn it into, like really committed energy to propel myself forward.
At work, I think it's a great question, Nicole, because it is a constant work. I've been in business for God knows how long. I think since I was, I don't know, 19 even, I would say. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. We are Holocaust survivors in our family. And so, it's never easy. It's just never easy. And you always think that you're the only one who screw up. You always think you always think that man, does this ever happen to somebody else? And it does. It happens to all of us. And I've been in a circle of entrepreneurs in all businesses. All businesses. I've been in academics that are very successful doctors, very successful attorneys, very successful, universities. We all go through the same journey. It's a journey, and so we have to have grace for it.
Mhm.
We really do.
Grace and grit, right? I think they go hand in hand, yeah.
Grace and greed, and but also know, like Nicole said, it's a hard work. And if you hear this, because I know that because we use the same thing. You want to scale, 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 scale. But there's gonna be times when you need to go back from
Yeah.
scaling. There's gonna be times when you're gonna say to yourself, this is too much. It's just too much. It's overwhelming. And so I need to go back to basics. And it's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay to do that because we all go through this. But it is true that I think the Leslie, like what you said, and Nicole, what you said, and I don't know, Nicole, what do you do to level the overwhelm and the stress?
Oh, it's quite similar actually to what Leslie said. I think it's so important to be active and to have time to unplug. I like to go to yoga, I like to go to the gym, I like to read something that's not business related because I'm listening to a lot of business podcasts and I'm listening to a lot of marketing things. And so, I like to read like a fairy book or like a fantasy book or whatever it is that people are reading out there. We had a client actually bring Ronit this book to our last event, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I was like, "Oh, I read that, Ronit," and she's way behind the times. But just to unplug for a little bit. Just to unplug for a little bit, but then whenever I think the greatest thing that has propelled me forward is my Sunday nights are really sacred for me, and that's when I look at my calendar for the next week, and I'm like, "Okay, what can I do in order to be really successful and set myself up for success this week? What can I shave or take away or delegate? And, what needs to be my primary focus? What's my goal?" And I think just getting hyper aware of, my time, because Leslie, you even mentioned time. Time is the one thing that we can't buy, right? It's our greatest asset. So, yeah, I think just managing my time better, having intentional time for myself has really helped me.
I think that when you go back into this, everybody deals with this in their own way. Some people either eat more ice cream or go to the gym more.
Is that what you do? Were you gonna tell us what you do?
I harmonize it. I harmonize it. I eat ice cream sometimes, and sometimes I go to the gym. There is no one way fits everyone. But I will say, um, I think that and for sure, when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock, I think it's the magic time is 4:30 in the morning. When you wake up at
Mhm.
morning and you start like thinking and you get all overwhelmed and stressed and you thought there's a reason for it. There's a really reason for it. I don't believe there is stress. I think stress is a story we keep telling ourselves, and that puts stress on us. But if you really intentionally Ray Dalio. He talks a lot about that. And he speaks of when you really reflect on what keeps you up at night, it's typically something that you know you're supposed to do that you
Uh-huh,
didn't do.
uh-huh.
That's it. So the easiest thing to do is to get up, get the shit done, and you will sleep very well. And you well,
Just
I
do
think
it. That's
just
the
do it.
grit.
And
That's the
be
grit.
intentional about the mistakes that you make. Like literally stop, think about that big mistake that you made,
Mhm.
take it, say it's okay, I can make mistakes, but really learn from it. Like really reflect on what brought me here. What brought me here? I mean, I made three huge mistakes this past 8 months. Not small, huge mistakes. And it affected everyone, everything, everybody, and my health. And so you got to think about it. Well, what brought you to here
Mhm.
that you can eliminate from coming to this again? And we don't have a tendency of doing that. We tend to say those when we embracing and saying we made a mistake. But now let's think about it. Let's marinate and cocktail in it a little bit more so we know what not to do. So if I can offer any advice that I hear from really great people is two things. Do what you got to do so you can sleep good at night. Don't procrastinate. And if you did and you went to sleep at 4:30, go do the shit. And if you just reflect on that mistake a little bit more and write it down and say to yourself what I wouldn't do next time, I think
Mhm.
you're gonna be much better off. So those are my two things. Yeah.
Completely agree.
This episode is sponsored by Vish, the smartest color management system for profitable salons. Vish tracks your color usage, reduce waste, and helps you charge accurately for all color services so you can protect your profit and grow with confidence. You know that we are all about profit and how we live a profitable life by, of course, by design. You can definitely make it so easily, and I've seen it, the actual results on the P&L. Vish makes it happen. Now join thousands of salons using Vish to scale smarter. Head to getvish.com and see the difference for yourself. This episode is sponsored by Forest Salon Software, the all-in-one solution designed to help salon spa, med spa owners really deliver with confidence and really design and drive their company to success. Forest isn't just a booking system. It is your machine that will help you grow your company with smart marketing and real-time reporting, staff performance tracking, and world-class support. And I mean world-class support because I wouldn't even recommend Forest if they didn't have a world class support. Now, so whether you're scaling to seven figures or streamline your operation or need to fix things and tighten things up, Forest can help you make smarter decisions and deliver the luxury experience that your clients and your members really need. If you're ready for software that is all in and grows with you and support you for a truly team run company, just visit forest.com and discover why thousands of salons trust Forest. And mention Salon Cadence and you'll get a perk. You know.
Arnit, should you go into the rapid fire
Yes,
question?
you
Yeah.
go. Do it.
Oh, I'm asking the rapid fire
You going for it, Nicole.
Okay, well, we kind of well, no, I'm gonna do this one because I like this one. What is your superpower?
So I was talking to my husband about this last night, and so he has we agreed on one, but actually we agreed on two. So I'm gonna go with I can fold a fitted sheet like nobody's business.
What?
I
That
like
is
to fold
a
fitted sheet,
superpower.
but I can fold it and it will look folded. It's not all rumpled up. There's a way to fold it. I promise you.
What's the secret? Is it to, like, tuck the corners into the other co
Yes, you gotta tuck the corners in and then bring it in. You have to create corners because in sheets now there's no corners, it's just all the elastic. So you have to create corners to then make it square to fold. So maybe I'll do a tutorial. I don't
mind. If you wouldn't mind, that would be fantastic. That's a good way
Fun.
to go viral, I think, if you're looking
Fold your fitted sheet. Yes.
well,
I love
wait
it.
till you do the next one or you got the next one?
No, you got go. Go
Keep
next one.
going, okay, because 'cause we're rapid firing.
Cool.
If you could put up a billboard anywhere, what would it say?
So it was the best piece of the advice that I've gotten. It would say, "Don't be afraid of your life."
I loved that, by the way.
I
I lo
think it's so powerful. I love it too.
What is your definition of success?
So for me, it's having inner and outer alignment. And by that, I mean, it's not this fake it till you make it. Or for me, it's important that I feel good about it and I'm happy within myself and that's what I project to the outer world. So maybe another way to say it is authenticity, but that what I'm not, pretending to be or what have you. It's that I finally and I feel like I have that now at PBA where I'm in this sense of peacefulness and authenticity of I am who I am and I can be that same person here with my team at PBA. I can be that same person with you all and within the industry, and I'm that same person at home with my family.
Mm, I think that's so great. It's just being true to yourself,
Mhm.
so you can sleep good at night with your decisions. Usually, yeah, we're not
Get me
perfect.
started on sleep, and then you have this whole thing, I mean, go there, right? Like the perimenopause and menopause, and you're not sleeping, like, that's a whole we have to solve that as an industry, just put it out there, we need to solve that. Mm.
Well, you know what? When we go into that with our doctors, you coming over so we can all share stories. How about
Yes. I like that.
The last one, which we've kind of touched on, but just to reiterate, what was your biggest failure and what did it teach you?
So the business failure I talked about, like really not honing in on the right aspect of the business and having the foundations for success, because I was too focused on what does the packaging look like and the pretty things and those pieces of it. But if I may, there's a personal one that I think has impacted my life both personally and professionally. And my parents divorced, my dad remarried, and my stepmom and I had horrible relationship. I was like 19 years old. I was dumb, and we did and said horrible things to each other. Don't need to go into all those details. But what I learned, my grandfather passed away, and at his funeral, something just happened with both of us, and we were by ourselves in the parking lot, and we're chatting, and it just dawned on me how much she cared for my family, and I saw that coming through, and how much she did care for me. And in the parking lot, this is years ago, we both said we apologized, and we said, "I'm willing to start over if you're willing to start over." And to this day, like I said, I was probably in my late 20s, early 30s. We have a great relationship now, and neither one of us drudges up the past and have been able to truly have that reset. And what that's taught me is that it's never too late to fix a broken relationship, whether it's personal or professional. If both of you are committed to having the outcome be that we can work together, it will work. It takes work and on both people's part, but I think it's something that's missing today when we get so quick to just throw away society, even with relationships, where we get so upset because of social media and we forget about the people behind it and the relationship piece of it. So that's my last word of wisdom that in my own personal life that I've experienced, and I'm so glad that I did.
well, amen to that because that is so
Mhm.
true. No relationship could go to waste if the two sides want to make it work. I agree, and your story is such an inspiring story, because um, I think a lot of people go through this in their early childhood. You know, I know Nicole has, I know I have, but it's important to come to peace with
Mhm.
yourself in order to come to peace with yourself. And it's a lot of work. It might take years of work. Might need a lot of good therapy, good help. All of that, and even being together with the PBA association, you meet people with the same story, so together we win. But the
Absolutely.
one thing is, it's like you almost have to forgive the other person to completely, holistically, and wholly to move on
Mhm.
and be happy.
Yep.
Leslie, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was delightful. I really look forward to seeing you in real life very soon and picking up where we left off. And to see what you're wearing to NaHa. I'm so intrigued.
Huh. Oh no. What do you guys think we should wear? Oh my God, you doing the green, I'll do
Love the emerald. Yes, the emerald is so great. Gosh, I feel like Ronit looks so good. You look like sapphire would be a great one for you.
Green sapphire. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I see the quartz pink. I mean, you're in kind of a pink color. I think of quartz pink would be really beautiful. One of our 7 gemstones. So I
Well,
love
Love that. Well, here we go. We got it all figured out.